What it do, Naysayer Nation? We are back once again for the After Show podcast. Happy August. Happy Sunday. We are live once again discussing everything that happened the past few weeks in the world of pop culture and a little bit of other culture. Always seeps into the After Show. You never quite know what you're going to get when we get the yap in. We can go from talking about some Marvel nonsense to Jay getting pegged in school. So everything is on the table for the most part for the After Show podcast. Hope everyone is doing well. Shout out to the chat for tuning in. Shout out to Gio for being first. Old Man Eastwood. What's up, Calvin? Casual Avenger, our brother from another mother, founding member. How you doing? Definitely looking forward to your commentary during this first segment. And I hope you're enjoying your deep dish. What's up, Travis? And last but some would argue least, I would not. Jayshokckblast, how you doing?
I am very sore. I mowed my lawn today, and it had been a minute.
That was you being sore was a perfect segue from me mentioning you getting pegged.
Yeah. It feels like I got pegged.
I thought that's where that was going. I was like, oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah. I wasn't gonna do it. I was gonna wait another day or two for it to dry out, but I was like, it's just too tall right now. Wilson killed a bird.
Oh, nice. Good.
Yeah.
Poor
we
bird.
don't. Yeah. Rip. But
good for it. Good for
yeah.
him.
Otherwise, just hanging in there. Interesting week, fun week in some ways. But how you doing?
I have not mowed the lawn in a long time, so I'm doing great. I've been paying people to do it. I always find some kind old gentleman to do it on as their hustle, and I got a new guy. He's great.
It's just this one thing. I want to pay somebody to do it one time, just to get all the stuff that I don't know how to fix done. But I don't mind mowing the lawn. I feel like it's it's just one of those things where it's a good workout. I was laughing at that. Threw me off a bit. He is a little brown and black, so could be some trouble here.
Definitely.
Yeah, but I don't know. I don't mind doing it, but there's just a bunch of. I swear my yard doesn't grow grass; it grows weeds, and we planted a ton of strawberries, potatoes, onions, and stuff. No, the whole garden grew weeds taller than me. So I don't really understand what I'm doing wrong.
I just had to have my guy come a couple weeks ago because my tree was getting a little overgrown. He's gonna chop that down in the winter, and I just had these weeds are growing out of the flower beds like crazy. So he whacked everything down. But overall, I put some stuff down so that it wouldn't get weeds and everything like that. And overall, I have not had to get my lawn done very, very often compared to years past. I used to have to get them every 2 weeks or so. I would have someone come cut the grass. So far, I've only had to bring the guy out to cut the grass 3 times this summer.
I think this is the 7th time I've mowed, but I didn't mow since I mowed the day before we had that huge stump removed, and I haven't mowed it since. And we've just had tons of rain, so it was super thick and heavy in the backyard, and it was still kind of wet this morning. So, yeah.
I'm so happy for my Marvel Rivals cues that school is coming back, so all you kids can get off the game.
Yeah, I don't let Gio play Marvel Rivals with me anymore. He's banned.
Yes, he is. Yes, he is. But
He's my guy though.
Yeah, this was it. This was, as Jay said, an interesting week. Speaking of Marvel, they had quite a week. Mainly the Spider-Man section, Spider-Man Brand New Day, currently breaking all the records, and it is now on pace to make $2.5 billion, according to the latest box office projections, which is pretty nuts, but it is Spider-Man, and it is a really good movie. So stars kind of line there. Also, bad in very bad news for the Culture Warriors. Christopher Nolan's masterpiece, The Odyssey, is now, I believe, officially the highest grossing film in IMAX history. It has also crossed $1 billion at the box office. So all those posts about how it's going to flop and not make any money look even dumber now than they did before.
I think my wife didn't understand any of this was happening, and I explained to her. Well, first of all, neither of us realized it was Travis Scott. That was the poet. I think we talked about this last time.
Yeah.
But then I'm like, you do realize the most famous Greek person in the world is like a 7-foot tall black man that plays basketball? Like, what are we doing here? So she still laughs about that.
Yeah, because the lesson as always, I even saw this get retweeted earlier by Paul Tassi. Someone had left a comment that they can't believe that there are people who are fans of X-Men who are racist, and Paul Tassi retweeted and said essentially, well, a big part of being racist is that you're stupid. So it actually makes sense that they wouldn't understand the allegory of the X-Men.
Yeah,
because it actually statistically true. People who are prejudiced have lower IQs. So that checks out. There are a lot of very racist comic book fans, and them not understanding the story that they're reading definitely checks out. Especially a lot of hate in the Spider-Man fandom as well. But it's not stopping the grind. The move. We can finally do our spoiler review of A Brand New Day now that a week has passed and enough people have seen it. And that's generally our policy. We'll wait a week for a new movie to come
$1 billion movie. If you haven't seen it yet, fuck you.
Yeah. So, especially if the movie is successful. In general, we'll say we'll wait a week for a new movie. But Brand New Day, based on how insanely successful it's been, you've seen it by now, or you've been spoiled by now, or too bad. So you can skip the section. But we're gonna review it because we both got thoughts. Obviously, we both enjoyed it. I suspect Jay enjoyed it more than myself.
Generally the case.
Yeah, generally the case, and based on both of our out of theater reviews that we posted on Twitter, I'm going to assume that nothing has changed. Jay still gives it.
I don't actually believe it's a 10 out of 10.
No,
notes. Yeah,
but I assume it's going to be just generally high. Yeah, and I do high. I still have it as my third best live action Spider-Man movie, but I do have some critiques. Appreciate the file reminding. Also, shout out to Insomniac. They actually, even though I personally didn't care, they just dropped an update on the Brand New Day suit that they added previously for free, and people were like, the suit's not right, fix it, and they fixed it. So
Manny, when this happened, Manny was like, how, like, what do you mean? Like, there's definitely a problem with it. It's not even the right color. So, like, I'm like, dude, I don't care. I don't know how you can possibly, like, look at that suit and be like, oh, this sucks. Like, it's not the right color. How do you tell? He showed me a side-by-side picture once they fixed it of what it looked like and what it's supposed to look like. I'm like, dude, you could have shown me either one of those pictures, okay, by itself at any point in time, and I would have, number one, thought it was the same picture, and number two, thought it was the right color. I don't care. And I don't care about, like, oh, it doesn't do battle damage. Like, I don't care. Like, I would have never noticed those things.
Yeah, at all.
But like, it made me think of. I responded to one of Mighty Keith's tweets today. He was like, I don't remember what game he was playing. Actually, I could probably just pull it up because a lot of people are liking my response. So he basically said, I don't know if it's me getting older, but whenever I replay games now, I get this weird feeling like I'm wasting time. I don't know how to describe it. Like, I'm on my second playthrough of Xenoblade 2 because of the Switch 2 edition, and I'm having a blast, but I have so many other RPGs I haven't played but bought, and I feel like I should be playing those instead. Y'all ever get that feeling? Or am I being a bitch ass? He's allowed to say it.
Yes.
My response was yes, 100%. KOTOR is my favorite game of all time. And when it came on Switch, I was like, man, do I really want to play this again? I always question why people have like every slot 100% playthrough completion on these Spider-Man games. And they're always like, oh, this game is boring as hell. Like what are we doing here, you know?
I feel like that. I feel that way about a lot of things because I think it's partially because I have a large backlog across multiple genres of media. Like I have a Netflix backlog. I've got an Amazon backlog. I've got within those. I have genres within those. I have movie, anime, and TV backlogs. I've got book backlogs. I've got video game backlogs. Right. So the idea of replaying or watching something has to be something that I really, really like, love, and just have a burning desire to watch again. Because otherwise, the only thing that I consistently replay is like music, and that's like music. But when it comes to video games, I only really replay video games at this point if it's like for a content purpose, which is rare for me. So at this point, I'm just going through games to try to clear up some space, get through some stuff. Like I definitely don't have time to be going through a whole RPG all over again from the start. I'll put
it to you this way. Like I usually will, for the Lego games for the last however many years, I've mostly been starting with the PlayStation version, trying to be one of the first people to get the platinum on the Lego game. And then I'll go play it again on Xbox for 100% completion. And I'll record all my videos the first time and then I'll stream it the second time. That's been the way I've done it for the last however many games. The one that I didn't do it for was Lego Star Wars, the Skywalker Saga. And when I went back to do it on PlayStation, I still haven't even completed all the movies. Like that game was so long and I got all my content out of it. And I was like, you know what? Dude, I don't want to do it again. And that's a Lego game. You know what I mean?
Congratulations. I wish I could watch Bleach for the first time.
Yeah. So it's just one of those things, but I didn't mean to interrupt the Spider-Man thing, but like, I just think of that. Like when I think of Spider-Man fans, we all know that they are like some of the biggest bitch asses on the internet. Right. So like, but like the fact that they were complaining about free skins I cannot imagine looking at that brand new day skin and being like, oh, this sucks. The modders do it better.
Especially since the suit they kept showing, every screenshot I've seen of the modded brand new day suit looks ass. It just does. It does. Yeah. Usually like the mods stuff is pretty good. Some of the mod stuff is pretty good when it comes to the suit stuff. Some, obviously, a lot of it's bad, but it's mods. You expect it, but yeah, the way they glaze some of these mod suits, and like even from people who should know better, I'm like, bro, this looks ass. Like, stop. Like, there's no way you think this looks better than Sonic suit.
Then somebody was like, oh, you're just a shill. I'm like, dude, Insomniac does not give a flying F about me. Okay? Like, what am I shilling? I bought the game.
They told me that personally.
Every Insomniac game, they don't care about me. So you're doing it for free. I'm like, no, it's a stupid thing to bitch about. Like, oh no, my suit doesn't do battle damage. Darn. The game has been out for 3 years. You got a suit for free. Who cares?
Yeah,
I just can't imagine caring about something like that.
The suit literally just looked like the same exact suit with like the brightness turned up.
Yeah.
I'm just picturing the Insomniac's devs just like in the menu going like, all right, contrast, brightness, done.
Yeah.
It's like, well,
but like they're like accusing him of being lazy. I'm like, what do you mean lazy? You really think it takes that much to like turn on battle damage on a suit? Like, come on. I don't know, man. I can't ever imagine being that upset about something they didn't have to do.
Yeah, I'm like, this when I saw people, I didn't even bother to make a video about it. I was like, I just don't care. So I just because I was like, I'll just yap about the movie, which is good. I have started to see some critiques. Shout out to Pitch Meeting, one of my favorite YouTube channels, one of the best channels on YouTube. They did their Brand New Day parody, and I thought it was, I thought it kind of echoed some things that I've been saying, and that I think are valid. Because I think I briefly mentioned that my biggest issue with Brand New Day were the villains. I even said that in my initial out of theater review, where I was like, I felt like what held it back was that I think it had the worst villain out of all the Holland movies. And I thought the Holland movies actually did a really good job of the villain. That was one of the weaknesses of the MCU in general. They had really shitty villains. But Vulture in Homecoming, I thought, was extremely well done. He had a great great arc, fantastic performance. I thought he played it very well. I thought it worked great. Obviously, I think Far From Home is extraordinarily underrated. I think it's an amazing movie. I thought Mysterio is one of the best villains they've ever put in the MCU. I thought Jake Gyllenhaal's performance was incredible. I thought the writing of Mysterio, the way the twist they did with Mysterio, how they implemented him was pretty brilliant. And just looking at how much impact he actually had on Spider-Man in the universe is pretty amazing. We think about how his actions directly lead to the events of No Way Home and Brand New Day, because of just how thoroughly he beat Spider-Man even in death. I just thought it was very, very cool. And obviously No Way Home brought in the man himself, Willem the Goat, the greatest live action villain, and that obviously was going to be a hard act to follow. But I feel like Brand New Day just in general dropped the ball, because they had some interesting villains that they could have done. Like I think that was the more frustrating part for me. Like they had good villains. They had a great Scorpion. They had a great Tombstone. They had the Hand. They even threw in the Hulk.
They even had blink and you miss it. I think Boomerang.
Yeah, and they decided, yeah, we'll just have a blink and you'll miss it thing, and we'll make it all about we'll just kind of push all the other villains out of the way, and make this all about introducing Jean Grey as the big bad. And I feel like it didn't work. And I think the problem with Jean Grey was that the characterization of her was incorrect, because their intention obviously the whole time was to have Jean be a hero eventually, because they're going to be going all about the X-Men, and Jean is not a villain. That's not who she is, at least not until she gets overtaken by the Phoenix Force, which doesn't happen here. But they introduced her as a complete psychopath, like an evil, legitimately evil monster, like worse than Vulture, who was essentially just a guy trying to take care of his family by any means necessary. Arguably worse than Mysterio, who was just a con man, like on par with Green Goblin, who's literally insane. And then they expected us to just buy in that she's actually good when we find out, she's just trying to save her sister in the end. And she decides to become a good guy because she sees Marissa Tomei. And to be fair, I would also have been a much better move if I saw Marissa Tomei.
Change your life for her.
But yeah, I would. She could fix me whenever she was. But for a villain, for someone who literally had an old person walk in front of a moving car and laugh about it, it just didn't work. It was such a weird way to try to transition this person from kind of an irredeemable monster into a good guy. And I said this when I was thinking about it. I really feel like they should have just taken that whole mind control thing and just made the villain Mr. Negative and the Inner Demons, and just had Jean Grey as a support character that ends up helping Peter to fight back against the Inner Demons and that mind control ability. I think that would have been a much more interesting story. It would have made more sense for the character and the way they were trying to introduce Jean, because the way they did it, it just didn't land for me. Like I didn't buy it. I didn't think they sold her motivations properly, because if all she wanted to do was save her sister from, find out about what happened to her sister from damage control, I feel like she could have easily just reasoned with Peter about it, because she saw Spider-Man get arrested by damage control. so obviously you would think like she thought, she would assume there was some wiggle room there to get him on her side. But no, she just goes straight to murder and torture. And I'm just like, I don't think it works. What do you think, Jay?
So I don't think you're necessarily wrong. This is not the way I would have introduced Jean Grey to the Marvel Universe. It's not what I would have wanted for a Spider-Man story, but I don't think it was. I never took her as a villain. I always took her because I knew who Jean Grey was, and I knew this is a young Jean Grey. She's just learning her powers, and I took it as there's got to be some purpose to what she's doing. And then when we get there, it all makes sense. The reason I love this movie and why it's my favorite Spider-Man movie is because of how I felt when I walked out of the theater. Everything had to happen to make me feel the way that I did, because I truly feel like the last 20 minutes just makes that movie for me. And everything that led up to that was just everybody's so good at what they do. John Bernthal and Tom Holland can make every movie together just like him and Zendaya do. All right. Like they were just fantastic together. I want that Punisher, the Punisher Spider-Man makes me really want a Spider-Man Deadpool movie. Everybody else is like, no, you need Daredevil. And I'm sure action wise, that would be great. But Spider-Man Deadpool had an amazing comic run that is hilarious. And they would be so like him and Ryan Reynolds together would just be hilarious. So that's what it made me want so much. And don't get me wrong, I don't mind Daredevil working with Spider-Man. I want that too. But it was a little clunky involving getting Jean in there. It did feel a little shoehorned in, you know what I mean? But the way it ended just made up for everything else. And it's weird because we saw all these Tombstone's going to be there. Sure. And it was all just this Flash thing. Yeah,
30 seconds.
I understand that people are going to criticize some of those things. I understand, because yes, I would have wanted more traditional Spider-Man villains, a traditional Spider-Man villain story, But
the hand was literally in it for 5 minutes, by the way.
yeah, but like I don't know how anything would ever make me feel the way I did at the end of that movie. You know what I mean? Like and sure, maybe they could have come up with something, but like do you at least agree that like the way you leave that movie, the way you feel about Spider-Man, like I walked out of that movie like thinking, I've got this awesome Hot Toys collection of Spider-Man figures. And I always like when I share pictures of it, I say, I'm not even that big of a Spider-Man fan. But that movie made me leave thinking I'm a Spider-Man fan. Like I just felt like it was everything great about Peter. And I felt like they really did a good job of trying to bring him and MJ back together. I thought Zendaya was phenomenal. I don't really usually care about her MJ. Like I usually she's all right, she's fine. I just thought like everything was so well done. I'm really looking forward to what they do with Sadie Sink. I thought she did pretty good. It definitely got better as it went, and as you became more Jean Grey. I'm really looking forward to where they go with the X-Men.
Yeah.
Again, not the way I would have done it, but I would change nothing because I don't remember the last time I walked out of a movie feeling that good about a character. You know what I mean? Like I feel like a lot of the Marvel movies we've had lately, we walk out and we're like,
I feel like you could have changed quite a bit about Jean and how
maybe.
they portrayed her in the movie and still got to the exact same ending.
And I think and it's not that I'm unwilling to do it. It's just honestly, for one of the first times, I'm just willing to accept it. And that's a hard thing to do as somebody that knows who this character is. But like, I don't want to second guess or overthink any of it because like I just felt so good about the way that everything came together in the end. And I'm just going to accept the feeling that I had at that movie. You know what I mean? Like it's one of those like I'm always going to remember how I felt leaving that movie. My wife loved it. She doesn't obviously like none of that matter. She barely even realized that was Sadie Sink until the end. Like, let alone when they teased that she was Jean Grey, or when they said she was Jean Grey finally, I went, oh, like I think there was some shock to me or anything. But she's like, "What?" I'm like, "It's Jean. It's Jean." So like
there was like a couple of people that actually gasped in the theater when I saw it with my dad and I laughed because I was like, because when they said it, I was like, yeah, I was like, yeah, obviously, but
I mean, it was obvious that's what it was going to be, and like I loved that it was confirmed basically, and
yeah, it was fun.
Again, it's not the way that I would have introduced her. It's not like the path, but I felt like when you kind of get to the end justifies the means.
For me, that was like what you're describing is kind of my issue with No Way Home. It felt like they had a really great third act planned out. Like they had everything exactly where they were. They're going to have, got the Norman Osborn going back and forth with Goblin, the death of Aunt May, Peter, Tom Holland's Peter trying to fight the urge to, cross that line, the team up with old Spider-Man. They had all this great stuff planned for that third act. But getting to that third act, not as clear, and it came off as, and a lot of times clunky. I think they handled it much better in Brand New Day. I thought actually the first half of No Way Home was actually just kind of ass, but it got heavily bailed out by as the movie got along and was hard carried by the third act. Whereas I felt Brand New Day was overall just really, really good all the way through. It definitely, even it had moments where it had a lot of problems to me, but none that were like severe like I typically get with Marvel movies where I'm like, oh, what the fuck were they thinking here? Apart from Gene, I think my biggest issue while actually ended there watching it was how they kind of just sideline all the other villains, especially the Hand and and Scorpion, and how they kind of took it a little too far with Jean Grey, because I'm like, okay, I understand her being a little rough with damage control, but like murdering innocent civilians just for fun, torturing Peter with his relationship with MJ, and then trying to make her unalive herself by throwing her off the building. Like I felt, and maliciously laughing at him about it. Like even he was like, "Oh, you're just evil," and I'm like, "Yeah," which was weird, because I'm like, there's a way you can write a character like Jean with her backstory to be rough around the edges without her being like a psychopath. Like, because there's a fine line between someone who's like kind of has a disregard, but like a clear like Frank Castle's a classic example. Punisher, you know, he is who he is. He says he's unapologetic. I kill criminals. This is who I am. I just punish criminals. But he has a very clear moral compass. Yes, he's determined to make the mob pay in particular, and make any criminal pay, but he clearly is someone who has a conscience, as you see how bad he felt with what he accidentally did to Peter, and just other instances where you kind of see Punisher, like when teaming up with Daredevil, how he'll kind of go along with Matt to some degree when it's not too bad, but he's very firm that he thinks criminals should be put down, but he has a very clear conscience. He has a code. He avoids hurting innocent people. He protects innocent, whereas even though he has a very clear vendetta, whereas Jean, even though her goal was to find out what happened to her sister and hopefully rescue her, her methods indicated that she was less concerned with that and more concerned with hurting as many people as possible, which made the revelation of that motivation seem off, because her actions didn't necessarily indicate someone who was trying to find her sister as much as possible. It seemed more like someone who gets off on hurting people and causing pain, and also just so happened to be on this mission. And that's where I thought that's why I thought they made that mistake, and why the end didn't hit for me like it did for other people. I thought my favorite parts of the movie were definitely the swinging, the fight scenes, Peter's relationship with Frank. I love his interactions with MJ, and I enjoyed how they explored that solitude of being, the side of Spider-Man that the people don't get to see when he's out saving people. Though I do feel like they could have cut down on some of those scenes of him being depressed, eating Little Caesars, so we could get a little more Scorpion and the Hand. But I did appreciate that side. Obviously, the whole bit with Punisher carrying to the hospital was great. I think it was. I left the theater differently from you. Obviously, not just because I had more critiques, but I was already a Spider-Man fan going into the movie, and I was still going to be a Spider-Man fan when I left the movie. So I didn't have any grand realizations. I definitely feel like I had a much stronger impression when I left Beyond the Spider-Verse than Into Spider-Verse than when I left Brand New Day. But I still walked away thinking, wow. I think I just turned to my dad, was like, wow, that was a really good movie. Like kind of like because I almost expected them to fuck it up. The
more important question is, how did your dad feel about it?
He thought it was good. He said it was, and my dad is very hard to impress. Like he hates the MCU. Like he's an old school comic guy. He thinks the MCU is mostly trash. Like all the ride there we were talking about, the different Marvel movies and stuff like that, and he was talking about he hates Thor. He hates Chris Hemsworth's Thor. He hates all the Thor movies. He thinks they're terrible. He didn't. He's yeah, and he saw Brent. He didn't like No Way Home that much, and he was telling me like. Because he usually reads either reading the comics or he's watching like kind of the straight to DVD, those straight to DVD Marvel movies, that they used to release more of that were like really good. Because he's like a more traditional guy. Like he likes when they stick to the source material. He doesn't even like Loki. He doesn't even like the MC Loki. He's a tough person to please when it comes to Marvel, and he didn't have really any major complaints about Brandon Day. He just thought it was a really good. Like he wasn't crying or like oh my god this has changed. But he was like no, he was like oh that was really good, and that's actually high praise coming from him because he can be very critical of comic book stuff, and he thought he didn't really have much to say negative about it. He thought overall it was a really good movie, which I think it was. I just thought that if they made some other decisions, it could have been truly great. That's why I still have it behind for live action. I still have it behind Spider-Man 1 and 2. But I do think it's definitely going to go down for sure as one of the best MCU movies. Definitely deserves to be top 5. I think MCU movies for sure.
I didn't have the same take on Jean Grey that you do. I didn't, as I watched and experienced the film, I didn't think at any point of her actions being overtly sinister or evil. I just, I knew that there had to be an end to justify the means, and whenever she released somebody, I don't think she's purposely, in the most case, put them in harm's way for any reason other than she knew Spider-Man would make it right. You know what I mean? That like when she throws MJ off the building, it's very clearly she's not really trying to kill her. She knows that Spider-Man's going to stop her, or stop her, grab her. You know what I mean? Like it's just a getaway plan, and I don't know. I can see where you're coming from. I personally
how she directly murdered somebody in front of him.
Yeah, I'm gonna be honest. I don't remember that moment off the top of my head.
It was very jarring. Like it was an elderly person, and MJ made them walk back in traffic, and Peter just was watching, and then the car just comes and boom, and it takes them out, and I was like, whoa.
Yeah, but I think. But even like the terrible stuff that she kind of did, like I just took it as desperation. You could tell like she was going through it.
I could tell that she didn't seem desperate at all. She seemed generally to be having fun torturing Peter. It felt like she didn't get desperate until like she realized that Peter had a way to turn her powers off.
Yeah, I just think that she definitely egged him on, but I don't know. I think I'm more. I maybe if I didn't just shut everything down and say, listen, what I felt at the end made everything else not matter to me. And I am normally more positive than you with these things, but I'm also normally just as nitpicky about the minor details and stuff like that. And like I said, I would not have chosen to do this with Jean. I don't think this is the right way to bring her in. I would have absolutely much rather them use, the tombstone and boomerang spots in the movie with her mind controlling them if that had to be done. Like I would have much rather them done stuff like that. But I did really appreciate I don't feel like it was like it was dumb. Like I don't feel like they dumbed anything down. I felt like everything was pretty deliberate. Like in a grand scale, like
Yeah,
involving the Hulk, it wasn't just a gratuitous, cameo. What, especially the Bruce Banner aspect, like that actually like mattered to the storyline. You know what I mean?
yeah,
So like I understand why that was all there, and it all makes sense. And I mean, I do obviously wish we could see that version of the Hulk a little bit more because like they finally made him look powerful.
yeah,
Um,
kind of,
I mean, look, not like I mean, obviously Spider-Man took him out, so like,
and
but he,
Punisher.
yeah, yeah, like so. I mean, at the end of the day, that Hulk movie is coming where he's just gonna demolish everything, you know.
Hopefully,
But yeah, I don't know, man. I just I don't remember the last. I just don't remember the last time I walked out of a movie feeling that good, you know. Like so
I,
that
I do,
that
I do. I felt that way when I finished watching Sinners and Project Hail Mary.
yeah. Maybe I haven't seen either of those movies, so I maybe I would feel the same way, but I felt that way for this. So my take immediately was, you know what? I'm not gonna bitch about the little things. I just loved that feeling at the end. And I don't
I feel,
know how you get there.
I feel like it's my responsibility to talk about all the things,
Yeah.
and I like when I watch a movie, especially in theaters, I never turn off my brain. I
Mm,
always I always want to experience the entire thing fully and dissect it and see because I love filmmaking, I love art, I love writing. So I'll watch something and I'll look and see. Oh, I wonder what. Oh, that's cool. Or oh, I really like how they wrote that. Or I really like that aspect. Or I like that. I really like that shot. Or I didn't like that shot. I wonder why. You know, and I use that kind of in my own work. Or when I one day finish my novel.
mm,
If only, and so I always I'm always thinking of things like that. So I'm never really in a position to shut off my brain because I feel like I can always, at the very least, learn something about the arts from watching something, even if it's mid. and I that's part of why I love watching stories like that. And I do think it was a good one. I hope Daniel is doing the rest of the Spider-Man movies. I think I'm looking. I was a little. I saw the potential with Shang-Chi. Obviously, I had a lot of problems with Shang-Chi, mostly the writing, because I felt like Shang-Chi was the least interesting character in his own movie. Yeah,
yeah,
like
that's possible.
I
I mean,
felt
they
like
even found a way to make Aquafina
yeah,
interesting, so
yeah.
has to count for something.
She was the most. She was annoying more so than anything. I felt like Shang-Chi was kind of just there, and like at least Aquafina was annoying as fucking. Like that's something. But I feel like Shang-Chi was just there. But I was by watching the movie, I felt like, oh, I would have much rather have watched a movie about his sister or his
Mm,
dad or his mom. But the movie is about him. And it didn't make me care about him. Like apart from him having cool fight scenes, because the fight choreography is fantastic. I felt like they didn't really do his character justice. And but I saw the potential because the aspects with his father and mother, his sister were fantastic, and fight choreography was incredible. So when I heard he was directing Spider-Man, I was like, okay, I think the Spider-Man action is going to be peak, and it was. And I'm looking forward to him doing the live action Naruto movie, which is will be coming out before we get another Spider-Man movie, which I filed with, and I'm looking forward to because I was I was definitely skeptical whenever there's a live action anime movie. I'm always skeptical because 99% of them are complete dog shit. But after seeing what he's done with Shang-Chi and now Spider-Man Brand New Day, I'm willing to be a little more optimistic about the live action Naruto movie, because I feel like at the very least he's going to respect the material and he's going to deliver some awesome looking combat sequences that I know, and I think that could be enough. We'll see how everything else plays
I
out.
will say that my biggest takeaway from this movie is that, like, I really hope they find a way to get Tom involved with Daredevil somehow.
Yeah,
just some interaction, like even if it's just one episode where he's there for a fight scene, you know what I mean? Like, I do think that would be really cool.
it is apparently in development. He confirmed.
Yeah. So like, I want to see more Spider-Man in anything New York City. Like, he should swing through anything, you know what I mean? So we'll see. And obviously, you know, that not everybody's like most direct end credit scene, but obviously it has some really good implications. Like, you have to understand, in order to like a lot of these end credit scenes, they're just more direct. This one is, you got to know.
Yeah, I felt like I understand why people were criticizing it, but to me it was obviously they were referencing Doomsday, but you know, as someone as it was pointed out online, the way the Spider-Man tracker works is that there's not a literal tracker on him. The Spider-Man tracker that Ned developed is basically a tracker based on Spider-Man sightings,
right?
And he uses that to triangulate his location based on reported sightings. And having the Spider-Man tracker go from Earth to outer space would mean somebody saw Spider-Man while they were in outer space and reported it to the and reported it to the tracker. And then it updated and apparently got a signal out there and updated. So yeah, on a technical level, the end credit scene made no sense, but I understood what they were going for. They were essentially saying, okay, Peter's going to be in Secret Wars. He got caught up in Battle World, basically. Is I think where they're going.
Yeah, and that obviously makes a lot of sense. I think the funny thing about the hand is that we were all like so sure when we saw those scenes, like, oh, they removed something from that scene. Like, you know, like the photo of them all jumping up and him kind of coming. I saw so many people like, oh, there's Daredevil's right here, and you know, somebody else is right here. You can see that they clearly took them out. And I thought that was obviously kind of funny. It was funny how everybody's predictions really just kind of fell flat. But I don't think anybody could have really predicted they would do it the way they did.
Yeah, though it was reported that there was more of at least that fight scene to the hand, but it got cut. But I just wish it was a lot more of the hand, because it felt kind of like a waste. Like they even had Jackie Chan come in and do some consulting to help them with the fight choreography, and the little bit of the hand fighting looks great. It just felt like a waste that they had so little screen time, because I thought that was like one of the more interesting. I thought that Peter and potentially Frank investigating the hand was more interesting than the Hulk cameo. I thought they could have done some really cool stuff with that, and then we introduced them. They're like glorified bodyguards for the Department of Damage Control. I'm like, what the fuck is this?
Yeah, I always interpreted Damage Control as the bad guys too. Like, I never expected them to be good, because Damage Control is never good.
Yeah, they were. I mean, they were the bad guys and everything. Like they were the bad guys in Miss Marvel. they were the bad guys in No Way Home. Like they were they were the bad guys in Wonder Man. Like they were always in the MCU they're always portrayed as bad. So it was also kind of weird, despite that, how Peter was kind of friendly with them. Considering
trusting, I think is the fairest word. But he had his guard up But yeah, like I thought that all along was kind of that's I think why I maybe let my guard down with some of the stuff Gene might have done, because I'm like, all right, well, damage control sucks, so whatever, you know. But
Yeah, like,
yeah,
I didn't mind her attacking them. I just thought like how she went after Peter and innocent people was like a little. I thought a little psychotic. I'm like, wait a minute, like you're
yeah,
especially when you find out she's trying to sister. I'm like, okay, well, there's a lot better ways you could go about finding your sister than torturing Peter. Like, what are you doing? Like, there's so many better ways to do this, and it is so weird. But Devil's Girls, yeah, they're always dog shit. Like we always knew they were a dog shit organization, and I now that Peter invented this mutant suppressing technology, I'm sure it's only going to get worse.
yeah, right.
Thank you, Peter. You just gave them the tools to enslave mutants. For the X-Men saga.
I'm pretty sure that that technology found a way to get wiped or something. That'll be the MacGuffin.
That'll be.
They know it exists, but they can't recreate it.
Well,
fully.
I hope. Yeah, I hope it's not a situation like how they treated the Celestial in the middle of the ocean, where nobody just acknowledged it, until they just decided it's like all of a sudden a massive international thing in the Blacked in America 4 movie, whatever. It was like, oh, by the way, did you know there was a giant alien in the ocean? And it's like a huge international incident, and everyone's fighting over getting the materials. Yes, we did know that. we saw Eternals and thought, huh, that's crazy. I wonder how they're going to address that in all these other projects. Turns out they're not, except She-Hulk is going to make a joke about it in passing reference in like a newspaper.
I recently heard something about the wrestler Becky Lynch was supposed to have a role in Eternals, but it got cut, which is kind of funny because her husband is Seth Rollins, and he was supposed to be in Brave New World, and he also got cut.
Yeah, he got cut. Speaking of casting, we got some X-Men casting going on. Apparently, in addition to our Jean Grey, we have our Emma Frost and our Cyclops. And you know what? I like them.
I mean, I don't know anything about anybody that was cast, so like they all look the part, and I'm cool with it.
I mean, I'm more familiar with Samara Weaving. I didn't see what the Cyclops got. I've heard of the show he's in that's popular, but I never watched it. But I thought, yeah, he looks the part. But Samara Weaving, I've seen her in some stuff, and I'm like, yes, that is Emma Frost. Thank you.
I love it that they are all young and up and coming. For the most part, kind of like what they did with a lot of the MCU. They took a lot of chances on some younger people that were budding, maybe. I want people that are here for the long haul, you know? So yeah.
You don't want someone who's like, 60, already. That's not going to be there for a while. Yeah, for sure.
Like Kyle, whatever his name is.
Kyle Chandler.
Yes.
You really hate your Kyle Chandler.
I just wish Hal was younger. That's all. Because I just want Hal Jordan to be like, the whole point of the Green Lanterns is to have all of them, like, and I just want Hal to be around longer. Like, I love Jon Stewart, and I'm glad the person they cast seems exceptional, and I'm glad that it looks like he's probably somebody that you can keep around a long time. But like, I don't know, I just felt like I feel like Hal and John are like basically the same age.
Yeah, I understand that. Yeah, like, typically, the way Hal is depicted in the comics, they're like roughly the same age, and Kyle Chandler is like 60 years old in real life.
Right. And that's literally my only issue. I'm sure he's a great actor. I just wish they went, even if they went with somebody in their low to mid 40s, like they went just a little too high as far as I'm concerned,
Totally. Yeah, I totally get that part being valid. Like I
And
love Kyle. I love Kyle
that would
Chandler
be
as an
great.
actor. As an actor, I think he's great. Like I'm a huge Friday Night Lights fan, so I will always support Kyle Chandler. But I do understand people thinking, okay, I don't want him. I wouldn't want him ideally to be Hal. But my impression was that that he wasn't going to be like a big part of the DCU for that long. I was expecting him to be there for like 20 years. It seemed like they were very, based on what I was seeing of Lanterns, it felt like they were setting this up for like John to be like the main guy as the Green Lantern of DC, with like some other lanterns, thrown in like Guy.
Right. And I just can't relate to just writing Hal off almost completely. You know what I mean? That's my bigger issue is that like you can still do that and have John be the prominent, Green Lantern without having elderly Hal Jordan from the start.
Yeah, I get that.
That's the only argument I've ever really had about that. But yeah, it is what it is.
Yeah, I think he's going to be good. I think he looks good in the trailers I've seen so far. Obviously, I know he's a great actor from what I've seen him in. But
I mean, they made Sinestro look younger than him. You know, that's just weird.
It is a choice, but I'm gonna let him cook, and I'm glad the DC is cooking so far because it's interesting. They obviously Supergirl just finished this theatrical run, and it was a catastrophic flop. No way around it, but it is doing well digitally. But it did end its run, theatrical run, worse than the Marvels and Morbius, which is crazy. But I was happy to see that WB said that they didn't really it basically didn't really affect them. Like they thought they were overall very happy with what's going on with the DCU. They support what Gunn's doing, and on top of that, the Paramount deals currently being held up. So that might be a bit, and they've made it clear that whether or not the Paramount deal goes through doesn't really matter to them because either way they get a huge windfall of cash, regardless.
Well, their investors get a huge windfall of cash.
Yeah, that's why the CEO Zaslav wasn't when he was asked about the deal wasn't like particularly passionate either way. He's like, yeah, if it goes through, it goes through. It doesn't. Oh, we get $10 billion. So
I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't understand why people are so against it. They keep saying, "Oh, it's a monopoly," but like, there's still 40 other massive studios.
I mean,
there's still.
I mean, there are some people who care about the monopoly. Most people are saying it because they need a reason other than they don't like that the Ellisons are associated with Trump. That's really what 90% of the criticism is.
Okay. It's always been weird to me because I'm like, so like WB is in dire straits. Like they have to get sold or they could just not exist. So you're talking about jobs in Hollywood going away. What do you feel if like Oops were dead? You know what I mean?
I don't think they're in. Well, they were in dire straits. I don't think they're that bad. They've actually turned around
a bit.
A lot actually. They've actually, yeah. I've had a lot of criticisms for them, especially with how they were running
video games,
the game division before James Gunn came on board. But yeah, WB has actually dramatically turned around their finances. They've actually had a pretty record breaking run of box office successes, and yeah, they actually really turned around their balance sheet. But yeah, which is precisely why they have these huge sale offers, because they successfully managed to make themselves an attractive target of buyers because of how they've turned around their business. So hats off to them. But I think the valid concerns with Paramount are that they're afraid of whether or not they're going to release stuff in theaters still, I guess because they have their Paramount Plus, and they're still concerned. But I never thought that was really valid. I thought that was more so a valid complaint for Netflix if they were going to take over. A little bit of questionable there, but even then, Netflix, even for their stuff, would push stuff to theater. So I wasn't that worried, but I felt like it was more worth noting for Netflix. But Paramount, I don't see them going away from the theaters, and they also recently came out and said that they were going to commit to 30 theater releases in a year, which probably cap, but because that's more than everybody literally in the last 25 years. But I do think that they have every incentive to still release stuff in theaters if they make the deal go through. So I don't worried about that.
I don't understand, so look at Masters of the Universe. Okay, a lot of people, it wasn't a big hit in the theaters, but they still got a good chunk of their money back from the theatrical release, and then they release it on Amazon Prime, and it's one of the best streaming movies in the world for 2 or 3 weeks straight now. Yeah. So I don't understand any downside of having a theatrical run and then putting it on streaming. You're gonna I know that there are people that are gonna wait for streaming either way, but you're getting it on the screen, you're making money, you're getting some money that way, and then it goes to streaming and you get the same hit you would have otherwise. I
think their concern is that, and from if you're looking at this from an executive position, it's kind of the same reason, it's kind of the same situation with Sony going away from physical media. Sure, you would think, oh yeah, why not release this version? You have a lot of people that want to buy physical media. You're going to make money off of that. But if you're thinking in terms of a corporation whose job it is to maximize shareholder value, you're like, okay, well, I could release this in the theater, but okay, how much money did we spend on this? Okay, then we have to pay for the theater, for the marketing, and then the distribution, and then we have to share some tally with the theater, as opposed to just putting it on the streaming platform that we own and not dealing with all that stuff. So that's what the concern is for people when it comes to companies that own streaming services, who would have the option of putting new movies there instead of doing a theatrical release, because their concern is that, sure, they're still going to do theatrical releases for stuff they think is going to have a great run, but they're concerned for the other stuff where they're like, I don't know about this one, let's just throw it on streaming rather than give it to the theaters, because they're concerned that the theaters are just going to get squeezed out.
I also feel like merging HBO Max and Paramount Plus is a net positive for consumers, because most consumers at best have one or the other. Very few have both. And now you get the content of both in one place. You know what I mean? And if someone like me that has both, I mean, I'm eliminating one of those subscriptions.
Yeah, I think streaming wise, this is a W. I think gaming wise, I think definitely Paramount is the better home for WB than Netflix would be, by a mile. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I wasn't really that concerned with the theater aspect of it. I feel like Paramount is still going to release a good amount of stuff on theaters. I doubt it's going to be 30 like they said they are, but I mean, based on what the box office runs we've seen this summer, I feel like this kind of justifies continuing to push stuff to the theater, because it's clear you can still get a lot of value. We've seen from all these movies this year: Project Hail Mary, Obsession, The Odyssey, Spider-Man, like especially movies that don't have a huge budget but are really good potentially. Those are the ones you definitely want to put in theaters, because for a theatrical run, because you never know if you're going to get a Backrooms or Obsession, like hit. So and if it's a lot of money, then you definitely want to put it in theaters, because you want to maximize your chances of it, becoming a big thing. So I feel like either way, we're more likely than not to keep getting theatrical releases, even if they go ahead and buy and the deal goes through. I'm not worried. I'm not that worried about that. My only worry was what was going to happen with DC. Would there be any clashes? It seems like Gunn is still. They said the right things. Gunn is still on board, still willing to work with Paramount. The games, Paramount obviously doubled down on games division. They literally opened up another studio with the purpose of doing more into video games. They revived the last Ronin game. They promised to do more Avatar, Star Trek games. So I think if the sale goes through, WB will probably be okay, and we'll still be all right. I would definitely be more concerned with the EA acquisition, because that one looks already fucked, because like the way they went about going private is definitely much worse than the way WB is going about their sale. Like EA undertook a lot of debt in this deal to go private, and we already heard reports that we're about to hear about some mass layoffs at EA. Setting aside the moral implications of Saudi, owning EA and what effect that could have. We're already hearing that they could be selling off BioWare.
Very interested.
Yeah,
I'm very intrigued to see what happens there.
Yeah, so
BioWare used to be
be
just a powerhouse.
Yeah,
and like I guess the last game they put out was Dragon Age Veilguard, in which obviously I liked that game, but I understand why it didn't do as well. But like Mass Effect isn't what it used to be, because I don't know, why would we go back to Shepard, who is like literally one of the most important video game characters of all time?
Yeah, I felt like when I said they were talking about selling BioWare, it reminded me of Monolith when that happened, and I feel like, yeah, it's going to be sad. Everyone's going to be mad or whatever when they inevitably announce that they're getting rid of BioWare. But I felt like, I think it'll feel like when Monolith got shut down, where it's like, it's sad, but it wasn't the same company.
Yeah, a lot of people left that.
Yeah. Specifically, yeah. In the case of Monolith, after WB's dog shit leadership got literally had them working. They were literally working on this really ambitious Nemesis system game for 4 years, and then when they turned it in, they told them, "No, go fuck yourself. It doesn't have a popular character attached to it," and that led to a mass exodus from the studio. So the studio that was the version of Monolith that was working on Wonder Woman was a shell of its former self. It wasn't. It was just a lot of new hires, because all the main people had left already. So, and I feel like over the years, that's kind of what happened with BioWare. Over the course of all these years, all these controversies, all these projects, a lot of the talent clearly is not there anymore. The same people who made, the same BioWare that made those earlier games that people loved are gone and at other places for the large part, and we're kind of just left with the remnants of what was once BioWare, and it's going to be sad if EA gets rid of them, but hopefully it's a sale rather than a shutdown. But
yeah, I feel like that's their only move, though. Like, you can't, like, there's value in just the name BioWare, like I mean, say all you want about Veilguard, it was a good game. Like, there was a good video game there. They can still make good video games. Even their last Mass Effect game was a good video game. It's just
I think they
people
more so
didn't care
want.
as much.
I think they were more so want the IP because you can
Yeah, that's
always
fair too.
because you can always hire better writers. You can always hire
Yep.
better developers. But
Sure.
but the Dragon Age IP, the Mass Effect IP, are still valuable. So I think that's why I'm not worried about BioWare just being shut down. Like what happened with Monolith, I think they're more likely. I think they are more likely to get sold off to somebody, and maybe they already did some layoffs after Veilguard flopped. So I imagine that like the version that gets sold off may end up being very different than we are now. What's up, Nava? But yeah, you definitely still want to have those IP. Those IPs are still very valuable.
What the fuck? So I can't. I would rather play Marvel Rivals with Geo than read Travis sometimes.
I don't understand.
It
Yeah.
looks like it felt like a mobile game. That is that's like the laziest take ever for anyone. Like, oh, it's a mobile. It looks like a mobile game. It feels like a mobile game. No, it does not in any way, shape, or form feel like a mobile game.
Actually, that's not even necessarily true. It could very well feel like a mobile game, but because I think people who say that don't understand the state of mobile games. Like Wuthering Waves, Genshin Impact are technically mobile games, but they're also extremely high quality action RPGs. Like you can even play Resident Evil now on your phone.
It's not said in a way to imply those positive things.
Yeah,
okay. People that say it's a lazy take to try to make it sound like it's like freaking Contest of Champions or some like really low budget, like it's just such a lazy take.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's like a lazy critique from people who don't really understand the state of mobile games in general. But I do understand the critique of Veilguard. I think it's I think the game itself it definitely showed when I heard about all the problems it had in development, how they originally were going to make it a live service game. A lot of the feel of it does make sense because it did feel kind of reminded me of Marvel's Avengers in some ways with the way it was laid out, the way the level design was. It definitely did very much feel like it was originally intended to be a lot like a more co-op live service type of experience that got cut down. I thought the game was okay. I definitely understand the criticism. It felt I feel like it was the experience was better depending on which class you picked. I think that definitely determined a lot of how fun you have with the combat aspect of it. I thought some of the writing was pretty terrible, but overall, I thought as someone who's not a Dragon Age fan, I thought it was a just a solid, okay, 6 out of 10 experience, 6, 7
Yeah.
out of 6
but
out of 10
my point wasn't that like the story and it wasn't the overarching thing. As a physical play the video game, it was a good game. Like you can pick up the game and enjoy it. 6 out of 10 is not like this awful, terrible experience. Like they can still make a good video game is essentially like
mechanically
what I was getting at.
Mechanically, it was a solid video. Yeah. Now I'm not a Dragon Age fan, and I feel like the people who were hardcore Dragon Age fans had much harsher criticisms for the game. And after listening to them, I think they're very much valid. If I was a fan to that extent, I would definitely have felt more strongly about the game. But as someone who wasn't connected to the previous games, just going into it just purely as this is my first real experience, the franchise, I was like, it's okay.
I think to understand where I am with Dragon Age, like when I bought my house, I had like 4 huge art prints from Dragon Age Inquisition framed on my walls. Like I love Dragon Age 2 in Dragon Age Inquisition. With Veilguard, like they brought in some. They didn't bring in my favorite characters from the story, you know. So like I don't care about Solus, you know, and like I understand what they were doing and it made sense and it worked and I really did enjoy the game probably more than most people. And I thought I thought it was a good BioWare game, not like their greatest. I thought it was definitely better than their last Mass Effect, but you know, a lot of people wrote it off from the get-go, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah, I think it was definitely another victim of like the poor development environment that's been kind of like ongoing issue with EA and particularly with BioWare, where they just really have a hard time properly managing these BioWare projects and keeping everything on track and ensuring quality control. Like the behind the scenes of Jason Schreier did on it made the whole thing sound like kind of a shit show. So based on how the game turned out, I thought it was pretty impressive considering.
I'll be honest. When I went to I think it was my first Summer Game Fest. I did a session where I sat down with some of the devs and watched. They did like a presentation on it and everything, and I didn't come out of that presentation feeling great about the dev that presented it. If you get what I mean, like I was like, some of the things you're kind of really touting are not important to me.
Yeah.
And I don't really want to get any deeper than that, but like I was excited for the game, but like I don't know. It definitely feels like one of the rare instances where I think some of the voices behind that game were absolutely kind of pitching and putting their beliefs into the core of the game instead of just kind of keeping it a little more neutral. I don't think it forced anything too much, but like I do think you could tell the elements were there and
Jay's really trying to avoid being canceled.
Yeah. Yeah, but you like and again, I probably like the game more than most people. You know? I'm actually really pissed because I think I'm only missing like one achievement. If I'm I don't and it's one where I have to like replay the whole game and go to this one sequence and you have to like get everything right on that sequence.
Yeah.
And I didn't because I didn't realize that was what it was.
Yeah. I do think there are issues. There are instances where sometimes with some game it's clear that the devs are kind of out of touch with the market and the players, and that can definitely come up. Like when I was hearing how they were pitching like Marathon, how Bungie was pitching Marathon to people who were coming in early, players were coming in talking about their experience when they were just first shown Marathon and how it was being pitched as like, oh, it's going to be this next big thing is, the extraction shooters. And I was like, I don't know about this one, Chief.
I remember
it's not really a next big thing type of genre.
Yeah, I don't know. I do remember when Marathon was announced being so excited. So I don't know what happened there. I didn't. Yeah,
they made the mistake of chasing what they thought was a trend that was going to pop off. They thought this was a chance. They thought they saw Arc Raiders and that validated their decision to try to go this distraction shooter angle. I think it was just a simple fact that some of the higher ups liked Tarkov and was like, yeah, let's do that. And
for Anthem,
for Marathon.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought we were talking about Anthem. My bad.
No, Anthem was a whole other thing. Anthem's situation was not dissimilar from what happened with Marathon.
Yeah, I didn't realize we jumped to Marathon. I thought we were talking about Anthem because we were talking about BioWare. My bad.
I said Marathon, but yeah, similar to Anthem.
I just missed.
Similar to Anthem, though. Yeah, it was a situation where some of the higher ups were interested in chasing kind of this trend. Like in the case of Marathon, they were like, "Oh yeah, we love Tarkov. Let's do extraction shooters. That's going to be the next big thing." And in the case of Anthem, they had this kind of vague idea, but then they were like, "Oh, it's awesome, Destiny," and like and that also fucked Avengers. But yeah, essentially, you had pressure to go this live service direction because that was supposed to be the big thing. That was going to be the big moneymaker. That's where they were convinced gaming was going to go. And BioWare kind of just floundered trying to make Anthem work as a live service, first as a game and then as a live service looter shooter. And it never really got there. And Marathon did the same. Marathon more succeeded more than Anthem, I think, as in terms of what they were aiming for. Marathon is a much better extraction shooter than Anthem was a looter shooter. But the problem is Marathon genre is not nearly as accessible. And the money that they spend on that game is not the money you would typically spend on an extraction shooter. And that's what kind of fucked them over here, because Sony had already spent $3 billion acquiring the studio. They already decided that they were going to shut down Destiny, one of their most successful games on the platform, to make Marathon happen and prioritize it. So putting all that money into Marathon only to get exactly what it was, a niche, highly rated extraction shooter that is going to stay around 50,000 players in like the best case scenario, but mostly end around the 5,000 to 10,000 mark. And even when it's free, it's like, when you spend that kind of, you spend $300 million on the game plus $3 billion on the studio, those aren't like the returns you're looking for. and I still think that the best thing Bungie could do is just go back to Destiny.
I can't imagine spending that much money on Bungie to abandon Destiny.
Yeah,
like to not just go, all right, yeah, we're going full blown Destiny 3. You know what I mean?
Yeah, Sony's decision making over the last few years has definitely been questionable. I will say.
I'll tell you what. After the last DLC, I would let them I would license a Star Wars game. Let them make a Star Wars game. They would make an incredible Star Wars game.
Yeah, like it's crazy to me. Like even after they announced they were ending Destiny, like Destiny still ended up being in the top 10 most play games on PlayStation. And when you look at those charts, it's like you have to go down pretty far to find a game that is actually owned by PlayStation. And the fact that one of them was Destiny, a game that they're no longer continuing, just makes the whole thing seem like even sillier because their Destiny had problems, but the infrastructure was there. The solution wasn't to shut it down, and definitely, I think the solution would have been to just rework it, like do a re-release of Destiny 2, make that Destiny 3. Don't just start the whole thing from scratch. Like fix up Destiny 2 from the ground up and just expand on it, because there's still a lot. Obviously, there's still a lot of people interested in it. There's still a lot of love and upside there. I just don't understand the decision to just double down on Marathon and hope that this PvE push works. Like, no, because now you're alienating the few players that you have. Like the whole appeal of Marathon was that it's a kind of hardcore extraction shooter for people who like that sort of thing, and that's what they got. But when they saw,
there's not enough people that like that kind of thing.
Yeah, when they saw it wasn't that many people, they were like, "Oh shit, maybe let's lean back into the Arc Raider direction, which is more PvE focused." And by the way, Arc Raiders also lost most of its players, so even making it a PvE friendly extraction shooter doesn't work. Like, so it's like, what the fuck are you doing?
Yeah, I agree with Eastwood. When you play the last expansion that they did was very Star Wars influenced for Destiny. And then they obviously had like the Star Wars skins. They had, like Vader, Stormtrooper, Boba Fett, couple other ones, Mando.
I'm still mad we haven't gotten a Mandalorian game. I thought Star Wars Outlaws was going to be the Mandalorian game. Like that was one of the rumors.
Yeah, I don't understand. I don't understand Star Wars gaming right now. I don't know who's making those decisions. They seem very like, look, I liked Outlaws. Obviously, I like the Jedi series.
Yeah.
I just feel like making a Mandalorian game seems so obvious.
Yeah, I think the problem right now is the way Disney is handling their IP. Because Disney abandoned game development in favor of the licensing scheme, which
right
makes sense financially. Gaming costs money, game development costs money. So why develop your own games when people can pay you to develop the games based on the stuff that you own? Like that makes sense. So you bring in the ideas to people, they bring you money, and you do that. But I think the problem is that Disney has made it less convenient, we'll say, to license their games, and have not really adjusted to the market, and it's led to less people wanting to even bother because they've made it way more expensive and troublesome than it needs to be, quite frankly. And that's why I've been urging DC for years now to undercut Disney and get in on that and do more licensing by just offering better terms than what Disney's doing. But part of the reason is that because of this situation, it can be hard to convince a studio to even try to make one of their games, especially with the current state of Star Wars in particular. But like we know, for example, EA was like kind of the prime source for this deal to make Star Wars games, but after how badly they fucked up Battlefront, that that relationship kind of got messed up a bit. But they worked through it. But EA, and they cited this directly as one of the reasons why they're going away from licensed stuff in general. Like they actually had Respawn was actually working on a Mandalorian game,
right
and EA shut it down. And it looks like Star Wars Jedi 3 is going to be the last or one of the last Star Wars games potentially EA makes, because they specifically cited that the licensing fees that Disney charges made them not want to make really any more licensed games and wanted to focus more on their IPs. So that's why we're kind of seeing less and less in that regard. And if they were just pull back a bit on the overreach and the pricing, we would definitely see more Star Wars, more Marvel, and stuff like that. They're currently working with Epic on a deal. We'll see how that turns out, how those games turn out. But they just make it too damn hard to make these fucking games.
Yeah, I don't understand like what's the loss for them, but also we do have 2 new Star Wars games coming very soon. We have the Zero Company and the Galactic Racer.
Yep.
And those are not done by like massive studios either. So it makes me wonder, and they're very niche games. So it makes me wonder if maybe they are coming back a little bit on that, because I don't know if even the Zero Company like collector's edition, though, kind of like I'm annoyed because I actually kind of want it, but it's like, hold on, I have a picture of it. It's like $300, and I don't know where you're getting $300 of value out of it. Hold on, I have a picture of it on the screen here. Because I saw it and I was like, oh yeah, I kind of want that. But like, you're getting the game, okay, which is what we'll say $70. You get a desktop map, character cards, who cares? Patches, okay, whatever. A foil stamped box, wow. A retro jewel case, wow. A steelbook, a pin, another pin. This is the big thing that they're like banking on for you: a variant Star Wars Black Series electronic thermal detonator. The Black Series thermal detonator, the regular one, retails for like $45. So they're selling like this is $300. Why? For mostly paper products.
Also,
So like,
also to be clear, both of those games do have big money behind them. Just to be clear.
oh, I'm sure, but like, so Zero Company is it's gonna be like Midnight Suns. It's gonna be like XCOM. It's one of those type of real time turn based tactics.
And it's backed by EA. It was one of their last. It's going to be one of their last projects, but besides Star Wars Jedi 3.
But it's such a like we saw with Midnight Suns, which by the way, phenomenal game. One of the
amazing game.
one of like the best Marvel games we've had in a long time. But it like flopped because people they don't like the turn-based strategy stuff, or they won't give it that chance. I thought that was one of the most accessible ones, but like
it didn't hit, and that's also a concern with this one. Like
and I'm worried about it's very worried about that for Zero Company because it looks like it's gonna be a cool game. I'm not like the biggest turn-based, but like I'm after Midnight Suns, I'm more excited for it,
Yeah, and to be clear, we don't know what they paid for Zero Company yet, but yeah,
right.
And then Galactic Racer is 10 cents. So.
Yeah, I mean, but Galactic Racer, I actually played Galactic Racer this year at Summer Game Fest.
Yeah,
and I was very surprised that there's like an open world aspect to it. It's not just like a kart racer, basically. I was very bad at it, not surprising.
of course.
I don't drive well in anything, so but except real life, very good driver in real life. But very listen, I'm a good driver. But it's gorgeous. I really actually kind of enjoyed it. I did okay. I'm very interested to see what actually I'm gonna play it. I'm excited, but like
I'm excited for Fate of the Republic now. We're not going to see it until like 2040, but I'm very excited for it.
But here's the thing: like, other than 2 Lego games, do you realize there was no video game release involving the new trilogy? Like, it's weird. Like, sure, we saw Rey and Finn and some of them in Battlefront, but I don't know if that's really the same.
It's not,
like it's wild to me.
There's a reason for that. Disney Star Wars has fundamentally failed. Like it didn't work. It didn't hit. They failed to outside of the couple seasons of The Mandalorian. They had some success here and there, but overall, the trilogy, the new sequel series hasn't really resonated like the show. Their biggest successes really have been, besides Rogue One, the show, some of the shows, and really only two shows, three if you count the first season of Visions. I haven't finished Visions, but I'm definitely excited. I think they've done a lot better in general for the animated and the animated stuff. But yeah, overall, it just didn't land, and most Star Wars fans still have love for the older stuff.
They did just have that Star Wars Monopoly game. Did you get that from Ubisoft?
I was offered it. I didn't play it.
I got it. I did one stream on it. It was fun. It's different. But yeah.
Yeah, I was like, I was like, Star Wars Monopoly. Like I was literally the meme of the kid who opens the fridge. It's like,
dude, it's wild though, because like they sent it out like a month before the game came out. So I like played it like the first time like so early, and I'm like, damn, I can't do anything with this for a while. This is crazy.
Yeah, shout. I think it's feel like Star Wars fans kind of in a situation like where DC is kind of right now when it comes to games. I mean, at least they have a couple interesting things coming out. Like DC fans were crashing out because they just revealed that new fighting game DCKO
And it's mobile.
Yeah, it looks mobile. Like it actually looks mobile. It's not one of those games where it's like, oh yeah, it's mobile, but yeah, it just looks like a cool game.
I did sign up for the I did sign up for the whatever they've got going on, the like stress test or whatever.
Yeah, and I think it's fine. Like I think the problem is like I have no problem with these mobile games. Like they release them all the time. You know, for all these companies, all these big IPs, they always release these smaller games. Those typically aren't an issue. I think the reason why DC fans reacted so strongly is because they were waiting for like something bigger to be announced. They're kind of still waiting for something bigger to be announced. And so far, I think the last two DC games that got announced were the DCKO, and I think the last one was literally the other Star Wars, the other DC mobile game, Dark Legion. like they haven't had. If you go back, what's the last DC game that even came out? Suicide Squad.
Yeah, I literally only have one mobile game that I play on my phone right now, and that's Pokemon Go.
Yeah, I don't even play. Yeah, the CIA game, and I don't even play. I don't even play mobile games really anymore. And yeah, I could definitely see why DC fans felt a type of way, because like it seems like Marvel, you know, for say wherever you will, they always have some kind of game in the works. They always have something going on for, you know, that's on a larger scale. Whereas, you know, DC, all the DC game announcements we've gotten lately has either been the cancellation of a game getting shut down, or the announcement of a mobile game, and it's up. But there are still stuff to look forward to. Like there are still genuinely interesting DC games in development. You know, you have Injustice 3, you have the new Rocksteady Batman game, you have the new game from WB Games Montreal. We have the DCU game James Gunn was teasing. So there's some generally cool stuff they could announce. It's just, and I warned fans before, it's going to be a while. like they're kind of playing catch up because they had to do all this restructuring.
I mean, Gamescom is in like 3 weeks, and I doubt we're gonna get anything there. I haven't heard a sniff of anything. Anytime recently.
I mean, there could be something. Appreciate the 5. Wolverine actually has the preview this week. I think the embargo.
I'm talking DC.
Yeah. I was just reacting to the super.
Got you.
DC. Yeah, the Wolverine preview embargo. Shout out to Caboose, who got to go out to the studio and play the game there. But
yeah, Blitzbringer did too.
Yeah, they'll be allowed to talk about it on the 13th. And then in terms of Gamescom, I know Marvel Rivals already confirmed they're going to be there. Like physically, they're going to have their things set up so you can go there and play the game and chat with devs. I don't know if they're going to have an announcement there. They could. Interestingly, the
could Ultron,
be the Ultron PvE mode ends around the time Gamescom is happening, which I thought could be interesting. And we know that the Infinity War mode happens in October during season 10, so that could be something. But in terms of DC, I could see them doing a Justice 3 at Gamescom.
Maybe. I don't know that I would. I know I'm not going to Gamescom, so
yeah.
I don't know if I would be part of that. I feel like I'm generally pulled in for some of the DC related stuff, and maybe even a little NetherRealm. I don't think that they're gonna do Injustice at Gamescom.
Isn't Lego Batman DC DLC around that time too?
September 20th, but So that makes it made more sense for Lego Batman to get announced at Gamescom because they're in the UK. But like, I mean, we're gonna Injustice 3, we're gonna see the Game Awards if we're gonna see it this year, or they'll just do their own thing. Because like they did the Mortal Kombat reveal.
Right.
And tradition, like I only say this because like
now would they now my question there for you is that would they necessarily fly creators in if there was nothing to play?
Yes. Well, I mean the reveal I think that there's going to be something to play one way or another.
But if there's but if there was specifically nothing to play, it was an announcement for something that's further down the line.
No, I don't think they're ever going to announce things that further down the line. I think Injustice 3 is probably close. Okay. Because I feel like I know I had conversations. I overheard other people that are more interested in the fighting games than I am have conversations about Injustice 3 when I was at Suicide Squad. And that was 2023, like December 2023, I think, maybe 24. I don't remember. It's all a blur. But I know that they're probably pretty far into Injustice 3. So, I look at like Mortal Kombat 11, they did the big reveal event out in LA. Right. I did something for Mortal Kombat 1. So I mean, like, there's a lot of things that they've done where they've pulled even me in, So like, I feel like for Injustice, I'm hoping. I always feel like my last event that I went to is going to be the last one I get to do. Just because like that's just me trying to keep myself in line. But like I don't think we're gonna see it at Gamescom. I think Gamescom is definitely big, but I don't think we're gonna see anything Injustice related there. I think it makes more sense for them to do something in America and probably do their own thing.
And to be fair, yeah, they have announced games that were further out without
right.
But DC specifically, but they were at like for example, Suicide Squad and Gotham Knights were announced at DC Fandom and were obviously released years later and had gameplay later on. So they could there's always that possibility. But yeah, it definitely feels like we're going to be waiting a bit, like because I feel like Injustice 3 is like kind of the only one that seems closer to being like there. Like I feel it feels like they could maybe announce the Rocksteady Batman project. But
yeah, but I feel like they've just been burned so much that like if you don't need to announce it, there's no reason to announce it. You know what I mean? So like I feel like the cadence that we've seen. I don't know if you want to address that real quick.
I appreciate you, Armani. Yep, I'm definitely excited for what then? Yeah, Rise of Hydra is tricky. Like Venom is supposed to be 2027, but we'll see. But yeah, but
the cadence we've seen from NetherRealm has been we announce it and we're already getting close to shipping it,
Yeah.
They did it with Mortal Kombat 11. They did their big reveal event. I was there in LA. They did this huge event. They had tons of people come in and like Ronda Rousey was there and I met who did I meet? I met Kofi Kingston and Xavier Woods there. I was around Cody Rhodes, but I didn't really talk to him. There were just lots of people that were there. That's where I met like who was it? The raging guy, the big fat raging guy that has been canceled a million times lately. I can't think of his name, but you would know if you saw him. Anyway, but like they did their reveal and then boom, we're already playing the game at the event. And then for Mortal Kombat 1, they announced it at Summer Game Fest and boom, there was a playable version right then and there. You know what I mean? So I feel like that's kind of like NetherRealm style is like they're just gonna. But I think Injustice 3 is like the world's worst kept secret. Like
maybe you're just not invited, Jay.
and no, that's very possible,
Yeah.
and that's fine. Like there are definitely other people, but I feel like I would know something's happening.
Right. Yeah.
I have this really good friend of mine that we've talked about before, who I've known for 25 years now, that I knew before video games, you know, like, and I feel like he would have like prepped me, like, oh, something big's happening soon, you know, at the very minimum. But like I haven't heard from him in weeks.
Yeah.
So
Justice 3 probably a long shot, but interesting. There's no DC fandom scheduled yet this year, so maybe.
When was the last time I feel like they only did that like once though, didn't they?
Yeah. When was the last DC fandom?
Because they sent me like this big package. I have like a hat somewhere for it. Like it was a cool package.
Yeah, Jay loves himself some packages.
Yeah, send me all your packages. Am I allowed to make that joke, or am I gonna get an angry email about it?
You'll be fine.
I don't know if you saw the tweet that I sent out last week about the weirdos that were emailing me, acting like they had any control whatsoever.
We were memeing about it while playing Rivals.
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah. The last DC fandom was 2021.
The only DC fandom, right?
Yeah. The first was held in August 2020.
Okay, so there were two. You're right. Yeah. So like, I don't know. I think that was kind of like a COVID thing, you know?
Yeah, the other events got canceled.
Yeah. So I don't know,
because they had some in-person stuff. But they had the virtual event. The virtual events were like pandemic related, and but so there's currently nothing scheduled here. But it feels like if they were going to, it feels like the wild cards are going to be, because James Gunn said that he was going to announce it in a couple years to the DCU game. So I would definitely expect some DC announcements based on what WB's execs were saying in 2027. But in terms of this year, I feel like the only likely ones to me is like Injustice 3, maybe as a wild card, whatever WB Games Montreal is working on, or Rocksteady. Those feel like the only tangible ones that have like a realistic chance of getting an announcement, I think, this year.
Yeah, well, I mean, as far as Marvel, we've definitely got the Wolverine coming up. I'm very excited about that because let me just tell you real quick, I hate this game.
Yeah, Jay not.
I actually let me just take that back. The game is gorgeous. Okay, the story mode is so cool. The way they did it is really cool, even if it's a little cheesy. The lobby, the avatars are. I want them to just take that out, give it to somebody else, and let them make a Lego Disney Infinity style game with that art style, those characters. Let us collect all these characters. Like, there's so many cool characters in the lobby. I don't remember the last time. I'm good enough at fighting games that I can get through the story mode and everything, which is all I'm really interested in. When I play Mortal Kombat, when I play Injustice, you're not watching me because of, oh, he's Sonic Fox or anything.
Definitely not.
You're watching because I'm showing you, this is how you unlock this. This is where you get this. This is what everything looks like. That's what I love about the NetherRealm games. Yeah. And even to an extent, Street Fighter. I was decent enough at Street Fighter. It just didn't interest me as much.
Right.
This game is made for sadists. Like, my Manny messaged me and he's like, "Hey, I know you're a little frustrated right now. Just wait until you go into the tutorials, and you have to do the tutorials for every character, and that's how you get one of the shaders for each character." Okay, so I'm like, all right, fine. Let me just go right into it and do Deadpool. And I got through the 17 like basic tutorial one pretty fine. Then I got into the combo. There's 10 combo tutorials. I got to the 6th one without offing myself. And then the 6th one, jump cancel and jumping are basically the same thing. And there's like 7 things in a row you have to do. And I just couldn't get from jump cancel to a double jump thing. And it is there is no chance that anybody is ever going to use this combo in an actual video game match.
I'm sure it's used a lot. I'm sure it's used a lot.
But I would feel Manny agrees, and normally he's a get good guy, you know. And I know he's also said he's not as great at fighting games, but like I promise you, like these things are maddening, and it just made me give up on the game. Then I tried to do the story mode, Dr. Doom story mode. I made it through the Samurai Outlaws or Outriders. I made it through that one, and the only time I lost was against the champion. I lost the first round against the champion.
Came back
all three times I fought him. But here's the thing that I don't understand. Okay, listen. How does a company would rather they give you the option, okay, that you can just watch the story and play 0 matches.
Yep.
But they don't give you the option to just start it on easy and play through it on easy. You have to start on their default difficulty and lose a match in order to lower your difficulty. They make you lose a match. Like, why are you wasting my time? I already know I want to play on the lower difficulty. And then once you beat that match, they put you back at the default difficulty.
Because they want you to get good, Jay.
I don't want to get good. I'm fine being bad. I just want to experience the story. And I want to actually play the matches. I don't want to just watch the story. Why? Like, I will never for the life of me understand how any company would rather you not play their video game than just start off at the easier difficulty and play it the whole way that way. That is the dumbest thing I've ever heard in my life.
Makes sense to me. Either watch it or get good.
But like, how full of yourself do you have to be to do that? Like, and like,
to be fair, you're the only person I've seen complain about this. So it might be a situation where they didn't put where the standard difficulty isn't jayshokckblast difficulty.
But like, I won all the matches with the Samurai Outriders until I got to the champion. And when I got to the champion, I actually almost won the matches that I played, except the third one. The third one was very hard. And I almost barely beat it on the lower difficulty, but I was doing fine. And then I did the Dr. Doom team. And I don't know if it's just Dr. Doom is not my style, because like they make you basically play with Dr. Doom most of the time. But I lost every fucking match. And I could not understand it. Like, I know enough to know enough, but like I could not understand how, like, on the other story mode, I could get through all the first 8-9 matches before I started having trouble. But Dr. Doom is so hard. So like I don't know, man. I'm not that's not my style. I don't understand the purpose. We were talking about how much it is to license a Marvel game. I understand that Arc Systems, like they do the Guilty Gear games, and those are, I'm sorry,
Dragon Ball Fighters as well.
Yeah, so they make the harder style fighting games, okay, and I understand that, but I don't understand why, especially if you play their arcade style with the actual avatars. I don't understand why they would make it so complicated and like I've seen people that are good at fighting games try to do the tutorials and it's like rocking them, you know? Like it's wild to me to like hide all that stuff, and you don't even know how many like actual skins there are, how to get them, or any of that stuff.
Tokon's been out for a few days now.
Literally in my hand right now. Is it co-op? Is it co-op? Dude, Eastwood, what? Where have you been? It's a fighting game.
PC players, to be fair, are the other people who hate it, but for different reasons. It's not because they're not getting good. It's because in addition to the whole Sony region lock thing, where they've literally locked out over 100 countries from buying the game legitimately on PC. There's apparently the performance on PC is pretty bad to the point where Maximilian, cool dude, huge fighting game guy, he just did his last. He actually just uninstalled Tokon on stream for the PC. He did one final. He's been having trouble with the PC version, and he said he's just going to do one final stream to try it. And by the end, he uninstalled it and started up a new playthrough on PlayStation because the PC performance was just so bad.
I'm leaving this sealed. I'm very thankful that they sent me a code. Maybe when I like cool off, I'll go back and try to do the story modes again. I had a really like my video about the arc. What do you call it? The Marvel Tokon Fighting Soul lobby is amazing. Like that video did really well for me, like all things considered, you know? And I was so excited to do. I just wanted to unlock all the cost, like the shaders, and do videos showing those off. But I know I'm never going to be able to unlock all of those shaders. There's just no way I can do it. Like,
I was actually curious because they said like the hardest thing so far was Carnage trying to do his combos. And I was like, I wanted to try it. I was surprised I didn't get a code for Tokon because
they have. It's not through PlayStation. It was through an actual creator program for Arc Systems. So that's how I got it. I somehow saw like sign up for it months ago.
I didn't jump. I'm in all these creator programs, and I didn't think to go into Arc Systems. I usually get my PlayStation codes from PlayStation. But
I don't usually get anything PlayStation related. That's why I was very surprised to get it. So like, I bought the game. I'm fine. I'm just gonna leave it sealed, mostly because this is probably the last time you're ever gonna see a blue case like this. So one of the last, but like
apparently they don't balance until like a year in,
which is I don't even like the balance. I don't even care about. Like, I just don't understand why you would want that experience. Like, I understand fighting game players are mostly masochists, and it's fine.
Yes, they are. They love the pain.
But if you look at the highest selling fighting games, it's the NetherRealm games. They sell the most, and they're accessible. Like, you can play those games. Like, it's the basic things about Tokon that drive me nuts is there's no like roster that you can go into and just look at the characters and their outfits. And the only way to look at their outfits and their shaders is to try to load into a game or to edit your avatar. And then when you're editing your avatar, it's not even the roster version of the character, like the fighting version of the character, just your little chibi guy. So
as much as we made fun of Jay and say get good, he is right. Like the most popular fighting games tend to be games that are more accessible. Like the Naruto Ninja Storm games, for example, have sold tens of millions of copies worldwide, and it's because the games are good for sure, but they're easy to pick up. You know, they have especially the early ones. My favorite is Ninja Storm 2. They had a really fun and engaging story mode that's kind of like they also play kind of like an RPG. And the fighting was very fun, but easy to pick up. Like you didn't have to memorize like 30 different complex combo strings for each character. It was relatively the buttons and everything were relatively straightforward, and pretty much anyone, even a jayshokckblast, could pick it up and play and have a good time.
I don't understand, like, so okay, what is what is the harm in having all of your story type stuff having an easier experience? Okay, I will never understand that, because if you're gonna play PvP and be bad, you're just gonna have a bad time anyway.
Yeah,
So like they have no control over that. But don't you want to try to ease people into your game system, your ecosystem? Don't you want people to care about your characters? And if you do have some kind of a story mode, and like I said, the Tokon story mode is like you're playing a comic book. Okay, it's awesome and I love it. And it's very long. Each story is very long, but like
actually,
why?
actually a great callback.
But like, why wouldn't you want the cat to attract the casual player to come in and experience something that they're already a little scared of? Because there's a lot of people like, oh, I'm not good at fighting games. I don't like fighting games. But then you go through a Mortal Kombat story or an Injustice story, and you're like, oh, this is really cool. And I could just play it on very easy and just mash the buttons and be able to get through this whole thing. And as I'm doing that, wait, I'm getting a little bit better. I'm starting to understand it. And oh, now I can play it on easy. I can get through the NetherRealm games on medium very easily. And I've won some on whatever the next one up from medium is.
Yeah.
Like but I never could have done that before. And I would have never done that before if I didn't know that I had like Injustice was the game that like made me say, all right, I'm gonna give it a shot. All right. And it worked. And I went to MKX and then 11 and
I'm not
1.
I'm not a fighting game guy, but I like the challenge. Like if I enjoy the game, like for Street Fighter 6, I played a lot of Street Fighter 6, even though I didn't shout out to Capcom creative program. I never played any online matches. I don't even think I played through the story, but I enjoyed just hopping in and practicing against the CPU. And because I told myself I want to get a handle on it first. So I challenged myself to play on the hardest difficulty until I was able to beat the CPU consistently. And that was fun for me. I enjoy games where I could like get better and challenge. But I do understand the appeal of having the more casual modes be something that casual players can enjoy. And I think maybe this is just a case of them not calibrating this to the jayshokckblast tier of challenge. And I do think that's valid as much as I meme about it. I do think it's valid for the story, especially with how they have the option to just skip all the fighting entirely, and how much effort they put into the story.
Just let me play it on easy to begin with.
It does make sense. It does make sense to have modes where it's more casual friendly, and you just like kind of let them have fun, not stressed, and then you have the sweaty comp stuff for people who are into that sort of thing over here.
And that's the thing, like the PvP aspect of a fighting game is never going to change by having the PvE stuff have an easier mode for the casual player. And if the casual player wants to buy the game and experience it that way only, then you got some money. But if you don't have an opportunity to do that, then you're not going to have some money. So what are we doing?
But I don't know. I also do have to, knowing Jay's history, though, I do have to question just how difficult this normal mode is, because I don't know if I've seen that complaint yet. And I know sometimes Jay is in touch with the community when it comes to something like relatively like when you quit the Dragon Ball Z game.
I hate the gameplay style.
Yeah, like when there was a common complaint that particular boss fight was too hard. Like the scaling was like weird there because the difficulty scaled up massively with that Great Saiyan 8 Vegeta boss fight. Now, hearing that from Jay, and then when I tried it, I was like, I beat it on my second try. I was like, okay, so not hard, but definitely a noticeable difficulty spike, and it was like kind of out of whack with the rest of the game because none of the other bosses were that hard.
And also considering that was my first experience with that style fighting game, because that is a very different style of fighting game, and Tokon is too. But like, here's the weird thing, like, I don't know what was going on or why it was happening, but like, there's an option to press L2 to switch characters, and I kept trying to do that with Doom because I don't like Doom. I know that he's not my gameplay style, and it never let me switch. It's almost like in the story mode, it's there, but they're like trying to make you play the story with the character that's meant to do the story.
Yeah, it wasn't hard, but it was a big difficulty spike. But I do understand that it was, other people also mentioned that it was difficulty spike that was a little out of whack. So I understand. Like, I didn't play the launch version, obviously, of Tokon, but I played around a little bit in the beta. So I haven't really experienced what Jay experienced yet, but I do agree in a broader sense, in a general sense, that they should have casual modes for casuals and try to make it as inconvenient as possible. And it does logically not make sense for you to not be able to set the difficulty beforehand and just leave it at that. Especially
because they give you the option to just not play the matches. Like, I feel like if you're gonna let me do a lower difficulty level, and you're gonna let me not play the matches at all, just let me pick which difficulty I want.
Sure. And it's like, because in general, like, I feel like most games it's like standard practice, almost all of them, to let you pick the difficulty beforehand, and the only ones that don't are the games that typically don't have difficulty at all. They just have their game experience, and that's just what it is. But for optional difficulty, it definitely feels weird to have it and then just not let you set it. That seems unnecessary. Seems unnecessarily clunky,
especially when that arcade mode has an easy, medium, and hard difficulty.
Yeah,
I feel like gives you the option to play bots.
I feel like that's something they're gonna patch.
And Ira, that's fair. I don't like. I can tell you unequivocally that Doom is not my play style.
I played Doom in the beta, and I thought it was pretty fun.
I'm not like a zoner. I don't do a lot of range stuff.
I do both. I can do either.
And Deadpool seems like he's a little tough too, but like, I was doing really well with like Ghost Rider, which I feel like I've heard might be one of the easier characters to play. Makes sense. Like, I was doing pretty well with Ghost Rider because you have to play a lot of Ghost Rider in the story mode. And every time I could, I tried to switch to Deadpool, and it really only let me call him in. Like, there are certain matches where okay, this is the Deadpool match, so you play as Deadpool as the lead character. I don't know, like, it's weird, and I don't know. I got frustrated, and it's so time consuming as it is, and I like to have to edit a 2-hour video file is annoying. So I just was like, you know what? I'm not like even getting a lot of views on this hour and a half for the first story video I uploaded. I probably was one of the first people to put up the Samurai Outriders, and nobody wants to watch the whole story mode like that. So I don't know. It's just, it's a weird game for me that I don't know how, if I can't get all the outfits and different colors and everything, I don't know how to like make videos that are worth it to anybody, that anybody's going to want to watch. So it's like, why invest all this time into it if
you're actually good at the combos? Yeah, you could actually have some.
That's the thing. Like, I was getting the repetition down. Like, it's not like you're fighting anybody, you're just doing the combo, but it's like the button presses are so weird. And like, I swear to God, if you saw the one that I got like stuck on, you would like never, you would agree with me that like, there's no scenario that you're gonna like knock somebody up, then knock them down into a crouch, and then jump cancel, but also jump. And like
I think I literally saw that in the tournament Maximilian was playing in.
maybe, but like these are moves for like top 1% players, and like you're trying just to get an outfit or like a shader for the character. You're expecting people of every ability to be able to get through these. And from what I understand, there's 3 sets of things you have to get through for one shader. Yeah. And apparently the third one is actually implementing them in a match, like against the computer, but like you have to hit them in a certain like time frame. And
I saw Max trying to do some of the challenges in between tournament matches, and the ones he got up to were definitely were like, oh wow, that looks kind of insane.
And he's one of the best players in the world. Like I don't think he's like necessarily pro level, but
he's extremely good. He's extremely good.
If he entered Evo, he could definitely make a good run. You know what I mean?
He was definitely having some trouble.
So like,
but he was enjoying himself. That was the difference.
But also that's a natural game for him.
Yeah.
And it's not a natural game for me, no matter what my experience with, like, no matter if I've played Mortal Kombat games or whatever. So like that's something that he like, that's his specialty, you know? So like to know that even he's having a hard time with some of these, how am I ever supposed to get through it when all I want is the shader? You know what I mean? Yeah. Like I don't know. It's and that's what frustrated me. And like I swear to God, I spent over an hour. I wasn't recording. I was just trying to get through just the Deadpool tutorial, which I heard is possibly one of the more complicated ones. I heard like Captain America's is pretty easy. But like I was over an hour and I only got halfway through the tutorial, and like I'm gonna do that for all 20, possibly 2 characters, because you do unlock a secret character, and there might even be a second secret character. Nothing exciting, but I don't know, man. It's frustrating because like it's Marvel, so I want to love it, and I want to, and I love the art style. I love the avatars, but like I can't get all the things that I want, you know?
Well, hopefully they do a balance patch for the casuals, and obviously the priority should be fixing the PC port as well.
Yeah, no, for sure. But like I feel like I'm the exact person that they want on their side promoting this game, because if I can get behind it and I can like find my own way to appreciate the way I did for Mortal Kombat, the way I did for Injustice, where I'm not like this hardcore PvP player that you're going to watch for that, but I found all these other ways to get people interested in the game. Like I'm going to attract the people that you're not getting and you're not going to get, you know? So I don't know.
I think they're definitely going to, we'll see what the sales are, but I think they're definitely going to want to, at the very least, they're definitely going to do something about the port problems, and I can imagine them implementing some changes to make things easier for some of the casuals. We'll see how long it takes. In the meantime, are you excited to watch GTA 6 on Netflix?
I don't understand why people are so upset about that.
I understand. Like thinking about it and hearing different takes, and some of the other takes, I understand that it's on its surface, it doesn't, just looking at it like, oh, it's just going to be on Netflix and then it'll be on YouTube later. I think the issue is that you have to look at this in terms of the broader trends and history of gaming, like, and what this could lead to, because it's definitely not good for the future of gaming. I will say that and stuff like, and some of the worst aspects of modern AAA gaming started with something that was considered, an outlier, that well, it's just for this game. Oh, it's not that big a deal. Whether it's the horse armor or the introduction of VC, all this stuff at the time people would dismiss as like, oh well, it's not that big a deal. It's only for this game. This game can get away with it. And turns out, no, actually, it wasn't just this game. It was in fact a big deal. And it did spread to other games. And I think the idea of paywalling what is effectively an ad, because that's what this is. It's an extended look at a game. The purpose of all these trailers and extended looks and gameplay reveals is that it's an ad for your product. And the idea of locking an ad for your product, by the way, a product that has been available for pre-order without showing any gameplay, and the fact that your first gameplay reveal advertisement for your product is paywalled behind a fucking subscription service that will get nuked off the internet if anyone reposts it, is kind of wild and dystopian on and it just made me think of like a future where we get an announcement of like, check out the latest check out the announcement trailer for the new Lego Marvel game exclusively on Disney Plus. It's like, what is this bullshit, bro? Like, come on.
Kind of like putting a movie trailer behind a paywall of a Comic-Con experience until a later date and not letting anybody see it unless you're actually there. I don't know. I feel like I guess I feel like everybody has Netflix, so or has access to it.
Actually, a lot of people don't, but I think I think it's the point I'm making is that the principle and the precedent it's setting like it's getting a little ridiculous. Like Rockstar does not need this much money. Like,
maybe they don't, but I also kind of feel like it's just a lot of content creators bitching that they can't co-stream it, like, oh, what about me? Like, why can't I understand. I understand.
You're a content creator, Jay, and you should also be more care about this, because it's not just the issue of them paywalling. This is also something that needs to be said, especially as a content creator who relies on the ability to use video games footage to make your content. And Rockstar has been doing this for a while, and it's really bullshit that they do this. It's not just the fact that you're not going to be able to co-stream, react, even share a clip, even if you're not a content creator. You won't be able to share any aspect of this during that 6-hour embargo window. Rockstar regularly copyright claims or blocks any footage from their trailers, no matter what. Whether
I think that's a different story. Yeah.
That this is the same thing. They do this all the time. This is a consistent thing with Rockstar, and it would completely fuck over gaming content creators if other studios did this and made this the norm. Fortunately, they get away. They are, even though they're getting away with it, even though it's technically violating fair use, they have this extremely greedy mindset, and that's not just anti-consumer but also anti-creator. Appreciate it too, Adi. That, and this is like an extension of that. Like, it was already bad that they would not allow you to share your trailer. Like, Skill Up was even talking about that, the fact that he has to use still images whenever he talks about GTA 6 because he can't, or any Grand Theft Auto, because he can't use footage from their trailers even if they're like 10 years old. Like, it's fucking bullshit what they're doing. And
I agree with that aspect.
And then on top of that, now they're like, okay, we put this game up for pre-order after, by the way, paywalling the full version of the game behind the $100 version, where we put it up for pre-order. We're not going to have a physical disc. We're not going to show you gameplay first. And when we do show you gameplay, we're going to make you watch. We're going to make you have to have a Netflix subscription before you get it, before you get to see it, and otherwise you have to wait 6 hours. So it's not. So in the short term, yeah, it's not a big deal. Obviously, people are going to be finding ways to try to pirate it, and eventually they'll be able to watch it on YouTube. But this is just the step one. If this proves to be highly lucrative for Netflix, who's to say that, again, other companies don't try to follow suit and start doing worse versions of what Rockstar just tried to do and is doing. And this just makes me think that the game industry is going down an even worse path, and Rockstar is pushing it. And I think more people, even if it doesn't personally affect you because you have a Netflix subscription, need to be more aware and conscious of how companies like Rockstar have made the gaming industry worse by doing these kind of greed-based these kind of greed-motivated practices that people dismissed as not that big of a deal, only for it to later become a huge fucking deal that made the industry worse overall. That's all I'm saying. Even if you can easily watch on Netflix, I think this is more so important to look at what Rockstar overall has been doing, especially during this GTA 6 run, and historically what stuff like this has done, and what this could mean for the future.
Newsflash: the entire game is paywalled behind buying it.
Yes. Specifically $100 version. If you get the $80 version, fuck you. You're broke. You don't get the full.
Exactly.
You don't get the full game. That's how.
No, I think they should have just released the whole game for $100. That's another story. I agree with you on not being able to use trailers, literally promotional material. So I wasn't aware that was an issue with Rockstar trailers in general.
Yeah, they do it. Even for GTA, like I was literally going to make a GTA 6 video using footage from the GTA 5 trailer, which came out like 15 years ago, copyright claimed.
So that I'm 100% behind, because like I deal with it. That's why I don't do a lot of reaction videos, because I swear to God, every single time I do one, it gets copyright claim, which makes no sense because it is exactly that promotional material. The reason I don't think this is that as big a deal is because yes, do they have to do this? No. Okay. But if Netflix comes to you and says, we want to do this, this is our idea. I actually don't know who came to who, but like, if somebody's going to pay you money to do this for a 6-hour early access to a trailer, like, I don't know. I feel like it's irresponsible. And I think the problem is that they do make money hand over fist, and you do that until you don't, like, I don't think anybody ever thought a bunch of games would ever get to a point where they were, or like, I don't think maybe people did think Bungie would fail eventually, but like,
yeah, because they failed in the beginning, like that.
Sure, but like they're just like, I feel like, so if Bungie is just,
I don't think there's any remotely excuse for this in terms of a poverty angle. Like Rockstar is in no way, shape, or form.
Oh no, sure, for sure. But like, I don't know, if somebody says, "Hey, we want to give you this money to do this thing,"
I understand why. I understand why they took the money. My issue is that Rockstar has a very steady pattern of anti-consumer behavior, despite the fact they're making more money than literally everybody. At no point has the amount of money they've gotten made them say, you know what, we're going to throw a bone to the consumer. Every time they're like, no, actually, how can we say fuck you more? and that's the issue.
It doesn't bother me the way it bothers other people. I think it's weird. I wouldn't do it, but like I feel like
I'm not protesting. Like out on the street mad. Appreciate the follow, Marty. I'm not in the street mad protesting about it. Obviously, I have not pre-ordered a GTA 6.
no, I'm not gonna do that until like the day of.
I think if you pre-order GTA 6 right now, you're a fool. But
yeah.
that aside, I'm not furious that they're doing it, because quite frankly, I'm not surprised that they're doing this. I think I'm more so thinking that it's definitely past time to like start kind of holding Rockstar accountable for their blatantly anti-consumer practices that they've consistently been doing and continue to do. And the fact, because right now, yeah, they are getting away with it because they've built up a lot of goodwill, but it's kind of it's getting a little weird.
Yeah, the only way that you can play GTA 6 is on Netflix Eastwood. That's exactly what we're talking about.
To be fair, he's like 60 years old. Like,
yeah.
Like,
oh my god, some of the things. I don't know. It's to me, it's. I understand. If I were them, I wouldn't do any trailers whatsoever. You don't have to. Like, we all know what their game is. Like, they've waited multiple years to.
It's GTA 5 in Florida. Yeah.
Right. Like, like their game is always pretty safe. Like they're always like incredibly well made and release stable. They seem to have held back releasing it extra years to make sure they're putting out the best thing they can. I'm not worried about it. I think big picture, Netflix obviously is the biggest streaming platform, in the world, like, premium. So like, are there really people that don't know about GTA 6? I don't know, but maybe like during that 6-hour window, every single person that logs onto their Netflix account is going to be hit with this GTA 6 thing right in front of their face. Yeah. It's interesting. It's interesting.
They clearly did it for the money. Like we obviously know.
I would do it for the money too. I mean, I do feel like I saw a lot of creators just kind of feeling butthurt that they can't do it. They have to wait 6 hours to like do the reaction, which apparently the bigger issue is probably going to get copyright claimed anyway.
Yeah, that's what I was telling. That's what I was telling Whitty. Shout out to Joseph Whitty. Yeah, I'm like, even during the embargo, if you try to upload anything from the Netflix, they will send their robots to take this stuff down.
Yeah,
obviously people are still going to be pirating. They're going to still trying to upload stuff, from burners and whatever have you, and doing stuff behind paywalls. I'm sure there's going to be plenty of Patreon streams and Kick streams will probably be popping off with people showing off the GTA 6 reveal. So people are going to see it, find a way to see it, even if they don't have a Netflix subscription. But yeah, even when the embargo lifts and it goes up to YouTube, even if you're a content creator, they're still gonna claim your video. Like they're not gonna whitelist it. They're still gonna claim your video. They're still gonna claim your video. They did that because they did that for the GTA, all of the GTA 6 trailers they've done.
I didn't realize that was the thing. So like that I definitely have a huge issue with, because again, you are right. It is supposed to be promotional material that you're hoping that people show. Yeah. So why wouldn't you like want creators to be a part of that process? I know that I'm sure that they think they don't need anybody. Like they've already got the biggest pre-sales of all time. So whatever, but I don't know, man. I think as like a global policy, trailers are meant to be promotional material. I did the most egregious one, and I forgot how bad WB can be about this stuff, but like my Lantern's reaction, like it literally, I got hit with an ineligible to earn notice that I've never seen before. And it wasn't just that they were like claiming it. It was that they were like, you just can't make money on this video, period.
Yeah, for sure.
Which is stupid, because like, that means DC, like, YouTube's not going to serve it to people, but like Lanterns, asset trailer, video ineligible to earn. Product tags aren't allowed. So I couldn't even tag like Green Lantern action figures or Funko Pops in the video that maybe people would buy. It's wild to me.
It's very stupid. This is obviously done by shitty lawyers, out of touch execs. Like this is definitely, yeah. From what I've heard, in particular WB, it's largely driven by their really shitty legal department. But yeah, this is generally a bad policy that I just cannot get behind. And I think it's bullshit. Like even Marvel even does this shit. Like I remember Caboose was complaining. I think they were doing this stuff I think this happened for Doomsday as well when people were
I think I was the only person in all of YouTube whose video was blocked for over 36 hours.
Yeah, I think you are actually. I just can't. This is actually crazy. Like they get away with this. I'm glad that most game companies don't do this. Like I'm sure, like Insomniac, fortunately, yeah, I'm sure when we get the Spider-Man 3 trailer, hopefully Miles is not showing his hair in his new suit. They're not gonna copyright claim your video for 36 hours.
Travis, you can talk shit about people all you want. Do not criticize the people that are literally sending us money. They can send us money and say whatever the fuck they want. However, Armani, we've said this to you before, send it to Sadot during his streams. Like the money here does not apply very well. All right. So you don't have to send it during this stream. Send it to him and with your questions during his stream so he can get the money.
Yeah, this is
Travis.
This is going into the void. You have to make a certain amount, so this is just all just sticking on YouTube.
Yeah, so you're wasting your money here. Travis, shut the fuck up. Stop criticizing people for giving us money.
Yes.
Unless you're gonna like match them.
Yeah, which Travis has been told more than once.
That's just an incredibly like I don't know if you understood what you were doing, but like if somebody wants if we're streaming and somebody wants to send us $5, they can say whatever they want regardless of the topic. Okay? Like I need to address that. I really do, because that's not very helpful to us.
Yeah, actually, that's actually accurate, Gio. I'm expecting Rockstar to give us all a big like. I love. GTA 3. Is in my top 3 all time favorite games. I love the GTA. I love the Grand Theft Auto games. I think I'm definitely planning on playing GTA 6, but this is GTA 6 is definitely getting to the point where even though I know it's going to make, absurd amounts of money. I'm at a point where I wouldn't be mad if GTA 6 ended up being a disappointment and relatively underperforming. Relatively to, say GTA 5. Like kind of how The Last of Us Part 2 sold really well, but not as much as Last of Us Part 1. And there was like a drop off after that initial launch rush. Just because I feel like Rockstar needs to learn humility. Like I think they've gotten too big. I think they got when you get so big that you think that the concept of goodwill doesn't matter anymore, and that you can just do whatever you want to your customers because they're not, that you think you can just get away with it. I think that's a problem, and they need to be humbled.
Yeah, I don't disagree with that. But I don't know how that I don't appreciate the way that they like kind of go about that, but like at the same time, do you think that I mean GTA 6 would have to be just a colossal clusterfuck, and I just don't see that happening.
Like it would legitimately. Like I feel like there's a chance that would have happened if they had gone with the original release date.
Yeah,
but I feel like at this point, yeah, it would literally have to be like Cyberpunk launch levels of bad.
Yeah.
In order for this to happen, and I just don't imagine.
I can't because like they did all the right things, you know. They like oh, it's not polished enough. We're gonna hold off. Oh, it's not polished.
Yeah.
I just can't imagine spending this much time.
To be fair, Cyberpunk did that too.
Yeah, I guess that's true. But Rockstar just has that, like, I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't
It's
see it happening.
It's Rockstar though, yeah. With how much
it would be very shocking.
Yeah, with how much money they've definitely spent on this game, it would truly be shocking if it launched that bad. Like it would legitimately be a shock. Like now I wouldn't be surprised if like story wise or whatever, it doesn't, you know, humor and everything, it doesn't live up.
Okay. All right, just make sure you match that when Sadot's streaming.
Damn right.
In his stream. And maybe some of it to me.
Little something to the big guy over there. But yeah, I definitely think that the game is most likely going to be going to be solid at the very least, and that would be enough for it to, you know, sell like, you know, 30 million copies in the 40 million copies in the first month. But if it only sold, say, 10 million copies the first month, again, not going to happen. But if it only sold 10 million copies at launch, you know, that first month, or 15 million, obviously that's absurd. That's obscene amounts of money, but not GTA 6, you know, hype levels amounts of money that you would expect.
Yeah.
And I feel like that may be enough to like scare them a little bit into maybe being a little more pro consumer. But again, I have no faith in ball and gun gamers. I think they have no self-control.
You say this now, but like we know that like this is going to get re-released on, you know, PS6, PS7, and PS8 before we get GTA 7.
Oh man, GTA 7 is coming out in like 2060.
Yeah, I don't know if we'll be alive for it, to be honest with you.
Yeah, there.
Statistically speaking,
I mean, the world might literally not be alive for it. Like,
yeah.
Humanity might be cooked by the time they get around to that, because you know they're gonna, once GTA 6 Online comes out, oh my god, they're gonna milk the fuck out of that.
Yeah, and GTA is going to make more money than all 6 of those Ubisoft games
combined.
Yeah. Like probably literally, 10 times over.
Literally, like
in the first month. Yeah.
Literally, I think potentially they might have made more just on pre-orders than a lot of some of Ubisoft games.
They've probably made more in pre-orders right now than every other game that's come out this year combined.
Not every game, but they've definitely, because there definitely been some big games this year, but they definitely made more. I will say, if we're just going Ubisoft, they definitely made more than Outlaws and the Prince of Persia combined, and Mirage. For sure, on pre-orders. I think the Rockstar reported. I gotta see the numbers. I think Rockstar reportedly made $1.2 to $1.4 billion during the period where the pre-orders went live.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's a lot of money.
Indeed.
So, but again, ball and gun gamers. No integrity, but we'll see. We'll look forward to it. Next week we got, I think D22 is actually next week,
and 16th.
Yeah, and then so we have D23 next. We have D22 next week. We've got the Wolverine hands-on preview, and what's going on in Jay's house? Do you hear a ghost? Is there something strange in your neighborhood?
I don't know. I feel like something just crashed upstairs.
Oh, could be a dog doing something.
No, but Wilson just flipped a pillow off the couch because of it. So something happened.
Maybe it's
I
haunted.
might need to go check on this. So I apologize. Do we have anything else right now?
I was just going through my wrap up before.
I gotcha. That's what I thought.
Yeah. So D23 next week. Marvel's Wolverine hands-on preview. The Marvel Rivals Gooner special. All happening next week. So be on the lookout for content involving all of that. Hopefully nothing too crazy happens in the news. We appreciate you all hanging out and supporting the channel. Hopefully Jay's house is not haunted and everything is okay up there. I'm Set the Gamer.
I am not Casual Avenger.
But we appreciate you stopping by, Casual. Hope you enjoyed your deep dish. Zip it up and zip it out. Peace, my nation.